Okay, so this is a smartphone that costs £80. It has a 6.6-inch display, a 32 megapixel camera, and a 5200 milliamp hour battery, and it runs Android 14. But at this price point, something needs to give, right? So let's find out together. Let me start from the front, because the Moto E15 comes with a 6.6-inch IPS LCD screen, offering a resolution of 1604 pixels by 720 pixels. That's a 20:9 aspect ratio, giving you a tall, narrow form factor that is great for scrolling social media and watching some TikTok reels and other type of videos. Now, the pixel density is 264 pixels per inch, so it's not the sharpest, but it's okay for the price point. However, one of the standout features that, well, I found here is 90 Hz refresh rate. So most budget phones and even high-end, some fruit phones up there, they stick to 60 Hz. So having a smooth experience while scrolling or gaming is a huge plus for Motorola. Where things get more surprisingly, also Motorola, they're claiming that this panel can reach up to 1000 nits of brightness. So that's really impressive for £80 entry-level phone. So that means that under direct sunlight or even studio lights, you do get a okay visibility. And let's not forget about Motorola display enhancement. So you get color boost, which enhances the saturation and a little bit more vibrant look. At the top, you can also see a hole punch, and that is housing a 8 megapixel front-facing camera with a 2.1 aperture. So it's a wide length angle, so it should capture like decent group selfies, and recording is 1080p 30, which is okay for a standard budget phone. And for the past week that I've been living with this phone, it seemed okay for some, well, casual selfies and even like phone calls with the family. But speaking of cameras, we do have what it looked like to be two cameras. Let me get there for a second. But we do have a 32 megapixel main camera with a f2.2 aperture and face detection autofocus. So that has a high resolution sensor for a phone of this price. But here's the catch. You see two. The bottom one is not a camera. The bottom one is a light sensor, so likely to help with auto brightness and processing AI. So effectively, you do have a one camera phone for £80. It is okay. I was expecting decent pictures if you tell you 32 megapixel sensor. The megapixels is not everything. You do have a 0.6 micron per pixel size, so low light performance means it's not going to be great. You do have a flash if you want to help in dark environments. HDR should improve like contrast and color balance, and video recording again 1080p at 30. That is okay. And the Motorola E15 still follows, well, the latest design language that they're trying to use. So it looks like a premium phone. It has a front glass with Corning Gorilla Glass 3, and you got plastic frames, and at the back you got kind of a leather silicone texture. Like it looks alright. It looks better and more premium than your typical like glossy plastic phones. But yeah, it's you like big and fake leather. That's okay. And the size, you see over here, it weighs 188 grams. It's not the lightest, but I do have a 5200 milliamp hour battery inside, and that's where all the weight goes. And in the subject of durability, it does have IP54 rating. So it's dust protector and can handle some light, like water, as I said. I would not, well, fully submerge it because it's not going to last, but some spills here and there should not be a problem. Now, what's under the hood? Because we do have a MediaTek Helio G81 Stream chipset, and it's built on a 12 nanometer process. So it got 8 cores running at 2 gigahertz. So it's okay. It's optimized for multitasking, for social media, from some light gaming, and I don't expect to run like Call of Duty or some high demanding games on like PUBG and nothing like that at high settings, because it's not going to work. Now, where things get a little bit more concerning is the RAM. We do have 2 gigabytes. In 2025, 2 gigabytes is extremely limited, and it's running Android Go edition. I will get to that in just a second, but apps keep like reloading and refreshing, and multitasking was not the smoothest. However, storage at least is expandable because you do only have 64 gigabytes. It's okay, it's the minimum. Software is where things get a little bit interesting, because I did mention Android 14 Go edition. And if you're not familiar with Android and the Go edition, is basically the lightweight version of Android designed for this type of phones. So low-end device that use less RAM, have all the Google apps pre-installed and super optimized to feel, well, smoother. Even if you've got low memory, it does feel smooth. And you also got full access to Play Store. So you're able to install heavy apps. They're going to struggle a little bit, but you can have heavy apps. And you can see here, it looks very Android. And I love that from Motorola. You usually keep that UI super close to stock, so the performance is great. And it's unclear. I couldn't find the weather. So just let me know in the comment below if you actually found it. Updates on this phone, at this price point, they're not long-term support guarantee. So just keep that one in mind. But for £80, yeah, it's what you get. Now, one of the best things that I did mention is the massive battery. 5200 milliamp hour battery. You got USB over here for charging and connectivity. I'm talking about connectivity. You do have your Wi-Fi 6 dual band, your Bluetooth 5.0. It doesn't got a NFC, so contactless payment are not an option on something like this. But you do have at the top, you may have spotted there, a 3.5mm headphone jack. It's okay to have in 2025, and you have a decent set of Dolby Atmos experience. And on the side, well, that's where you change the volume. That's on the right hand side of the device, and right below you got a fingerprint scanner mounted and building the power button. There's also a proximity sensor and accelerometer at the camera, so it can see you there, and it does unlock. You need plenty of light. There's no AR blaster or nothing, so I was not expecting nothing higher for the price. But the Motorola E15, it may be one of the best budget phones for 2025. Well, £80 is €100, and it does come with some great features. So you've got 90 Hz, 32 single camera, 2 gigabytes of RAM. So that may be the deal breaker, the RAM, to be honest. But it's a great basic phone for, well, for you kids, just to stay in contact. Have a emergency phone at home. You can just keep this somewhere and you swap the SIM whenever you need to. And also for your parents, you may want to get your dad, your mum, or whoever, your grandma, a phone. It's okay. It can take decent pictures and everything, but it's not super complicated out there. So this is probably an okay phone for someone out there. But thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this review of the Moto E15, an £80 budget phone, well, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell for more tech reviews. But as always, I'm CheCo, and I will see you on the next one. Adios.